La primera pregunta que tengo es, ¿cuál es la prioridad en el set para Stuart? Esto es, desde su rol de Production Sound Mixer, de jefe de sonido directo, ¿qué es lo más importante que él persigue?
I think it's just to record good sound and always trying to make it better. It's the first priority. If we're recording good sound, then I'm happy.
Pero voy a precisar la pregunta más. ¿Es acaso los diálogos la prioridad más importante o también están en ese mismo rango otros elementos como pasos, ambientes, etcétera?
Especially on bigger films, it's as long as you can get the dialogue clean, then the rest you don't worry about. But on smaller films, and the film we're doing now in Buenos Aires, we're trying to capture a lot of ambience, and it's important that because the dialogue's very casual and conversational. It's not like in big studio films when the line on the page is like boom, there's the line and that's it. It's much more woven into the sounds of the street and everything. So on the Harry Potter films, the studio where they were shot is not a real studio, so the sound is bad to start with. The acoustics are terrible, so you don't want those acoustics. You just want to get, I almost thought of the dialogue as like elements in visual effects. They take elements and they put them together. You just need to get the lines and the breaths and try and get rid of everything else.
¿Pedís silencio a viva voz en el set o es un problema de otra área?
I only shout for silence if everything else fails. It should be the assistant directors, the runners, the production assistants who do that. If I see a difficult location coming up, I might ask them, what's your plan? How many people do you have to control all the noise? And if they don't have enough, I might say, we should have one or two more people here. But usually they're motivated enough that they want to have enough and make sure they do a good job.
La responsabilidad del silencio, ¿de quién es?
Normally it's the fault of the assistant directors. But if the director is Steven Spielberg, then it's my fault. If there is a plane, it's my fault.
Ok. Otra vuelta sobre esto. Si el director o el asistente pide sonido y las condiciones no son buenas, el caballero se encoge de hombros y pone a grabar no importa qué. Esa es mi pregunta.
It depends. Usually, some assistant directors, they say roll camera. And what they mean is calm down, be quiet, prepare to shoot, roll sound, sound speed, roll camera. The assistant director we've just been working with, it's chaos. Everybody's working, making noise. He says, roll camera. So then I have no opportunity to listen, say it's okay, and say sound is running.
Camera rolls y ahí empieza, digamos, la acción y a veces, no sé, hay miembros de otro equipo trabajando y nada, y tenemos que, nada, queda el soundtrack queda con ruido. No, en esta película en particular no estaría pasando eso. Es como va muy rápido y bueno, no está bueno.
Lo pregunto de otra manera, todo esto. ¿Qué tan disciplinado es comparativamente la industria cinematográfica argentina en función de esta experiencia que está teniendo respecto de la que existe, que él tiene de otras nacionalidades?
It's not the worst. When I arrived, everybody said, "Oh, they're Argentinians. They're talking. They're worse than the Italians." But in fact, they're not the worst. They're not too bad. No. But I mean, sometimes I do. If they say roll sound and it's a noise, I say,
"What?
There's a problem."
Okay.
Sometimes with the force of the momentum of the whole machine, you just, and if I have to be far from the set for some reason with my trolley, sometimes it just goes and you just have to make the best of a bad situation. But I don't like to be a victim, to say, oh, it's noisy, it's bullshit, nobody understands me, and just go into my headphones. I believe in preparing. Preparation is everything. You know, if there's noise from the generator, from the catering, from this or that, to go prepare the space, close the windows, close the doors, switch off the ventilators, prepare everything so that when they say roll camera, it's going to be good. I see it partly as it's my fault if there is a noise which I didn't notice and control. So it's not the responsibility of everyone else to prepare it for me. I think we have to be proactive to go around, speak to people that you think might be a problem. If there are, we were filming in Villa 31, I asked the production to they got 3 dog handlers to come and be ready to deal with dogs in a good way. Yeah, and preparing acoustically the space as well, you know, hanging cloths and carpets and things like that. So it took us about 2 weeks to find heavy drapes to be able to hang, but we have to keep going so that when the scene arrives, when you need it, that it's going to be there. And
¿Quién opera el equipo de playback? ¿Vos u otra persona de tu equipo?
If it's straightforward piece of music which starts at the beginning, I do it myself with a phone or iPad or a laptop. If it's more complicated with choreography and different cues, then I would get my assistant to do it. But if it's a big thing with a PA system and maybe a thumper, then I would get somebody to come in, another person to run that.
This stuff.
Yeah, or maybe even 2 people if there's a lot of, if we use an induction loop.
Siguiente tema. ¿Qué marca de micrófonos para interiores preferís?
At the moment, it's Sennheiser MKH50.
Ok. Siguiente. ¿Qué marca y modelo de micrófonos preferís para exteriores?
It's the Sharps CMIT 5.
¿Qué marca y modelo de micrófonos corbateros preferís? La valía.
DPA 4061 or 4071 with I use mostly Electrosonics for their
Wireless system.
But because of the system and it's strong and so on, but for the sound I prefer the Audio Limited 2040 or the Wizicom for the
Wizicom, ¿nos podrías explicar cuál es? No lo conocemos mucho.
Es una marca italiana, ¿no? Italian brand.
Yeah, it's Italian, and they make wideband systems so that the transmitters have, the receivers are 240 megahertz, so you can tune from 470 to 700 megahertz. So if I'm traveling abroad, I use that, but yeah.
¿Usás monturas antivibratorias de Cinela o las de Ricote?
That's right. That's Spanish. Los dos. But I like the Ricote because it's modular. If you go inside, outside, it's very quick to put the windshield on. The Cinela is good, But and especially because the MKH50 is very bass heavy, so it's very like this, and so the Sinella is good for that, but it's a bit
Tricky.
fiddly, yeah.
The lighter, the better.
La más liviana, mejor.
No, I prefer the Rycote, just because when I'm booming, I'm just so used to that sort of modular shape, and I know that I'm on, whereas the Sinella's got a kind of big oval shape. And especially at night time, it's kind of hard to see with that wide end whether you're exactly on. But if it does a better job for him, I'm happy.
Por lo tanto, no debo repreguntar sobre piano y pianissimo. Dos.
Well, I did. I was filming this year in Fuerteventura, and everybody took pleasure in telling me that Fuerteventura meant strong winds, and I bought this Sinella, the big one,
Piano.
with the piano, yeah, with the furry thing and everything, and it was amazing for the wind, really strong. It was better than the traditional Rycote, although now the Rycote, I don't remember the name, the new ones, which are more
Sí.
bigger. Cyclone, yeah.
Sí, Cyclone.
I haven't compared, but the piano is, yeah, it's quite impressive.
El señor usa cantar como grabador. ¿Cuántos cantares tenés?
You're trying to embarrass me now. I have 2 X3 of the new ones, because if you're doing a big film on the X3, you have to have a backup.
Can I ask, did you move, you had before the X2 and you moved to the X3? That's why you moved, besides of the, but you were using a Sonosax with the X2 and then you moved to the X3 with the Sonosax, or you moved to the contract?
Yeah, yes. I was doing a film called Mary Magdalena, another Bible story, and we were filming in some mountains in Italy, and every scene has 12 disciples, and we have to carry everything. So the X2 has only 6 tracks plus 2 for the mix. So the X3 has 24, so I could carry everything I needed to have 12 or 14 mics in the mountains.
Okay.
Empleó el término backup. ¿Eso quiere decir que está guardado uno de los cantares en una valija o está grabando también simultáneamente lo mismo que está grabando el grabador principal?
If I'm recording in a bag and moving around, I don't do a backup. But if I'm working on the cart, the mixer has a recorder built in, so that is my backup.
¿Alguna vez tuviste que recurrir a recuperar algún track, algún file de el backup?
Yes, sometimes. Sometimes if there's a problem, or if I think the problem when you have 2 recorders is it's easier to forget to roll one of them, or because the cantor has 1, 2, 3 positions, sometimes I've turned it to the second position and I think it's recording, and then I'm mixing, and then I realize, and so I put it in record, and I have to recover it.
And you get that sweat.
Yes, you got to switch. Or if you have many channels and you realize that one of the tracks is disabled on the recorder, so you have to get it back from the backup.
¿Usás Majax o usás Wave Agent para modificar alguna metadata?
No.
No one.
No.
Ok. ¿Moderás los ruidos de los tacos de los zapatos?
See, carpet is great, but when you put carpet and then they say, okay, the second camera sees the carpet, you have to take it out, then you have to have on the shoes. So you end up doing both sometimes.
Systems.
Yeah. So we've spent a lot of time with different materials, rubber. You put the rubber in, and then it squeaks. So then you put a different rubber on top of the
Another
to
rubber.
make another rubber. So you end up with a different.
Okay.
It's a
Y el actor creció en
constantly.
altura.
Yes.
Whatever's necessary for not making any noise
Yeah.
and not get the actors to sleep.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
And,
yes. Sleepy as well.
The Orin is in charge of putting that, of you supervise with the custom people to do that. How's that thing, like you go for yourself and you put it yourself, or
It's always important to have a good relationship with costume people.
I'm married with one. My wife is a custom designer, so I
Es el
reach top level.
extremo. El extremo de la buena relación.
Well, you're an expert. I don't
I
need
don't
to
think I
tell you.
reached top level.
Yeah. So, forgetting the radio mics, the shoes are very important. So what we usually do is sometimes we look ahead in the schedule, maybe the night before, sometimes if we're pressured, and we do it the night before, and we get the costume to make the actors walk in trainers onto the set, so that we know that the work we've done overnight is still perfect for when they come on the set. So I don't always get to do that, thankfully. We have other people who do it faster than I can do it. So
Mostly it's the sound assistant who does that, but sometimes I do some, but and sometimes the costume people do it, but we do it better than they do it.
Okay. Hablemos de wild tracks, de sonidos solos. ¿Cuándo los pedís? ¿O acaso los piden los directores?
I think I have 5 situations for wild tracks. If you have a scene where the sound is good, but there's one line or 2 lines where there's a problem because of a noise or an overlap or something, then we wild track that line. If there's a scene shot with special effects, wind machine or a lot of noise, and then straight away they cut the noise and we do the lines with the actor so it's the same energy and so on. If there's a noise which you need to keep, like rain or frogs or a distant alarm or something which is happening while you're shooting, and you need that noise to put over the rest of the scene, then sometimes you have to stop and record that. And sometimes the director will ask for more lines. For example, if there was a crowd and somebody's shouting something, then they might say, let's get some more of those people to say things. And then if there are sounds which we've stopped from a crowd, applause, laughter, movement, or reactions to something, which we stop to record the dialogue, then at the end of the scene we need to record those separately.
I think, to make concise what Stuart was saying, in my head anyway, the way I think, is that we're there to get good sound, but we're also working directly for the editor. So that not only does he have the picture information, but he has all the effects, noises that should be with that picture in that moment as well. We had an example the other day where we did a scene in a laboratory, and the director and everybody else moved on, and we stayed behind to do a track, because it would have meant that it would have been an empty sounding room when there were like several other people in there working.
Hablaremos, por favor, de mezcla provisoria que hace durante el rodaje. ¿Solo para el editor de imagen? ¿Qué otro destino tiene esa mezcla? ¿Te llamaron desde la suite de edición alguna vez para pedirte necesitamos que los diálogos estén más despegados o algún otro requerimiento?
In the past, the mix that I did on set would be what was used for 3, 4, 5, 6 months for editing, for viewings, for the director, producer's studio, or for temporary screenings where they add some music and some effects. But I think that people just want the mono. Generally, they just want the mono mix and they want it to work. I mean, for the dailies and the producers to watch that, that's what they're listening to.
So it says like editorial. They ask you for specific stuff, like or even they say that it's noisy, or what's how much do they ask you for stuff? How's the pressure for your mix to be as good as the actual mix gonna be in the cinema?
I think in general, I lean towards, rather than having a mix which works like a perfectly balanced image of the room or the scene, I lean towards pushing the dialogue through as per the script. They want to hear that line, because the first thing producers are gonna say is, I didn't hear that line. They don't care if it represents the ambience of the space or too much that the perspective is wrong. I mean, I try to care for the perspective and make it work in my mix, but I lean towards just getting those lines of dialogue intelligible for the thing.
¿Cuál es tu opinión sobre el uso del CIDAR DNS2, que es un reductor de ruidos que se está empezando a vender en jefes de sonido directo, para usar directamente en el set?
I don't use noise reduction on set. I'm not saying I never would use it, but I think it can be a distraction because one, the post-production can do it better, and two, you can think it sounds okay, but then it's more important to go around the set and around the set and stop unwanted noises. I have seen a mixer showing off his cedar thing and saying, "Oh, listen to this," and then I go around the back of the set and there's a fan running there. So,
Okay.
But I'm not saying if I was doing a film, I don't know, with a lot of engines, like a Mad Max or something, and I know it's going to be looped later on, then I might use that to get a really good guide track so they can edit with it.
Hablemos ahora de niveles, por favor. ¿Qué tan alto grabás? ¿Tendés a que los diálogos estén a -20, por decir un número cualquiera? ¿O en qué número de dBs tendés a colocar los diálogos? ¿Usás algún limitador del cantar o en la consola Sonosax? ¿Hasta qué número de dBs considerás aceptable de limitación? ¿3 dB? ¿6 dB?
I'm old-fashioned in that I always record a tone at the beginning of the day. And I listen to check that it's okay. So I record my tone. It depends on the production. I used to always record it at -20, and now I record it at -18, and I peak my dialogues at 8 dB above that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What about limiters?
-3, -6.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It depends on the machine. Like, I try and take them out and listen, take the limiters out completely and listen to how it's going, and then put it back in a little bit. But sometimes, ironically, especially if something's really loud, I'll try and, provided I have a rehearsal, I'll try and take the limiter out for that loud thing because it sounds better. On the Sonosax, the limiter has there's a pot, yeah. So you can, usually I have it just a little bit, so it's probably working at -3, but sometimes I might turn it to maybe kind of where it would be working at -6, depending on the situation, yeah.
Por lo tanto, los limitadores que utilizás son los del cantar, no los del Sonosax.
No, if I'm using the Sonosax as the front end, then I'll use the limiters in the Sonosax.
Okay.
But on this film, I'm recording straight into the cantor, so I'm using the cantor limiters, and I quite like the sound of them.
Ok. Después vamos a ver unas fotos de su equipo, y él va a poder marcar y señalar algunas de estas cosas que ahora estamos hablando en el aire. ¿A qué distancia de la boca te gusta que el micrófono de caña esté? ¿Bien en el borde del frame o siempre a 40 centímetros, por decir un número? Tengo más preguntas. ¿Siempre? Es decir, habrá encuadres en los que podés poner el micrófono a la altura de la frente. Pese a ello, ¿dejás el micrófono a 40 centímetros?
I like to have the microphone on the edge of the frame.
Okay.
Even when you cut from this to this, I want it on the. I don't want to keep it further away than it has to be.
Sí, pero, perdón, existe una comunicación entre ellos dos, ¿verdad? De ser así, él está mirando el encuadre y le está diciendo más arriba, más abajo, etc. ¿Es así?
I always go obviously for that best position, but for instance on this film, it's a film but they shoot like a documentary, so 1 minute they could be here, next minute they could be there, so I have to move or dance with the frame.
Yeah.
But ultimately it has to be there, and he reminds me if it's not.
Yeah.
So.
Ok.
No? Do you have a communication between you guys, like a private line, so they can talk each other and they can talk between or during the take, so they can give you a line if you need to move up, move down, move to the side, or thinking ahead?
We have a private line, but I think as a boom operator you should get to know lenses in a sense, but you can't always be right.
Yeah.
Also, I always have a good relationship with the focus pullers, especially now since they've got a monitor now, because every now and then I can quickly have a quick look because things change so quickly. And also I make sure I have a good relationship with the operator, because the good operators, they're looking through here and their eye is looking at you.
Yeah.
And they can go like that all. So you need to build up a relationship with the camera crew, sometimes more so than the mixer, because you might work with a sound mixer for the first time, but you know the camera crew for years. And so you're reliant on them to help you out, you know.
¿Llevas sound blankets, es decir, una suerte de frazadas que utilizamos en rodaje para amortiguar el tiempo de reverberancia del set, de la locación? ¿Llevas sound blankets y los desplegás en el set? Lo mismo con las alfombras. ¿Son tuyas o son de otra gente? ¿Son de la gente de escenografía o de la productora? ¿Y esto es transportado por otro departamento? ¿Quién las despliega? ¿La gente de sonido u otro departamento? Escucho.
We carry our own carpet, and we put it down, and we take it up, and we take it away, and we put it in our truck, and we carry the sound blankets. The only thing we get from the grips is the drapes. I don't know what you call them here. Heavy
Telón.
cloths that we hang.
Telón.
Telon?
Sí.
Okay. I normally ask the art department to buy a roll of carpet as in addition to what we have, just for some cheap carpet that we can have, and that's the set decoration to buy that.
En los créditos de rodante final de las películas solemos ver un rol que se llama utility sound, dentro del paquete de gente de sonido en rodaje. ¿Podrías explicarnos qué hace el utility? ¿Qué responsabilidades tiene? Y mejor aún, ¿podrías decir qué es, cuáles son los roles del equipo de sonido?
Well, this question was answered by a friend, American sound mixer Mark Ulano, who's a bit of a hero of mine, and I couldn't express it better, so I have his.
Wow.
This person is responsible for handling a lot of the minutiae that flows in a steady stream, so the little things that are coming to the sound department on the set. They must have a complete working knowledge of all the equipment and of all the combinations that the equipment might be, how it might be set up. He's the engineer's second. He's my second. Supervising many operations. Among them are equipment placement and setup, perimeter and noise control, equipment maintenance, music playback, including QA, induction loop, earpieces, maintenance, supply of batteries, tape, everything.
Creo que más o menos hemos entendido que me sorprendió, yo no esperaba tanta responsabilidad.
No es el first assistant que es el boom operator, sino que es como es un ingeniero.
They have to be able to do my job and his job.
Bueno, estoy totalmente sorprendido. Okay.
Y bueno, y a veces es el segundo microfonista, digamos.
Está muy bien.
The Swiss Army knife of the sound department. You know?
Es la Victorinox del sonido.
Yeah.
Ok. Y hablemos entonces del microfonista. ¿Qué hace el microfonista para que éste sea perfecto? O dicho de otro modo, ¿qué hace el microfonista perfecto?
Preparation. So I like to get the sides, or I read my script the night before, so that I know the words nearly as good as the actors by the time they get on. To pre-rig any clothing that we can do, if that's possible. So when the actors put it on, it's already pre-rigged and we know it works. And also, again, it's about relationships for me. I try to build a relationship with the actor. Sometimes we may have something in common. He may know another actor that I know. So if I know that, I will talk about the other actor and straight away we have a relationship. So it makes it easier for me to put the mic on them. And with those mics, again, I usually prep them the night before so that when we go to work, we already know what's going on where. But we still have the flexibility to change that if we need to. So it's all about preparation and negotiation. That's it, really.
Can I ask you something? Something I read a couple of years ago with that you were shooting with Michael Winterbottom, 24 Hours Party People. They have a lot of preparation before because Michael once just got in and shoot. Like that's kind of the commentary, like a lot of movement. Like how you prepare with that, with something that you don't know what's going to happen.
You put microphones on everyone.
Yeah.
And fill your pockets with batteries. Because you have to go, like, filming with Michael Winterbottom, you're filming in the street. He says, let's go on the train. You go on the train. You get off the train in another stop. You carry on filming there. You go, and you don't know where you will end up. You don't have a base necessarily. So, it's prepare for everything. But if it's... because the best thing is to prepare on a conventional set, to prepare the space so the actors can come in and just do their thing and you're ready. You don't have to intervene. So in that case, we'll go in and we'll hide microphones on the set. We'll have 2 booms if we can, and we'll put mics on everyone, and then we'll just step back and keep away and allow them to do what they want to do.
Regarding the booming, I didn't talk about that really. Stuart likes various mics that we try to have ready. So he may say a 50 here or may say a 40 there, but they're always kind of ready on the pole or ready to go as soon as possible. And I have a belt that's got like everything on it. It's a really heavy belt, but I got used to it now. And so I know that if I need a leg garter, I usually have it on me. If I need some more batteries, if I need, just various things, I have everything literally on me. And what I like to do for myself is to do nearly all the rehearsals, so everybody knows where I am. And then if somebody stands there, I say, you can't be there because we've rehearsed this like 4 times and I was here. So you kind of have to fight for your space. But at the same time, I know that if I have to leave there because the director of photography says you can't be there, I know that I've thought about a 2nd place and a 3rd place so I can try and get the shot.
I think with some, because I was thinking about 24-hour party people in relation to this, and a lot of the work that we did on that, which at the time was pioneering, like to have 10 radio mics in a scene at that time was a big deal. Now it's just we have to do that every day, and it's just normal that you're multi-tracking everyone. But so I looked at some of the scenes and I thought this was really impressive, and then I look at it now and I think now we all have to do that every day. It's not impressive anymore.
I think I have to do how you know how to like focus on that kind of situations and you have experience for handling, no? It's because you already work a lot of time with 10 mics and you know what's going to happen, so you are thinking ahead and you already know and you're used to that, right? And before they only have like 2 tracks.
Yeah. But even then, they only, because that was a Diva 2, which has 4 tracks.
Claro.
So then I had to have a Tascam DA98 with 8 more tracks, and then now it's in a box like this, sound devices. But then you had to have a big.
Siguiente pregunta. ¿Haces reportes de sonido escritos a mano o los imprime la gente de edición de imagen? ¿O nunca se hacen y quedan en planillas Excel?
In the Cantar, you create the
en el Cantar,
report. En el Cantar, sí.
Se crean automáticamente.
Sí. PDF, CSV.
Muy bien. Ya está respondido. Muy bien. Cuando una toma está mal identificada y se descubre varias tomas después que esto ocurrió, ¿qué haces?
I don't worry about it. I don't see. It's not.
Okay.
It's not my problem.
¿Y eso lo identifica alguien? ¿La gente de dirección, alguien identifica que está mal nombrada?
I would make a note
Okay.
on the report, but if we all call it the same thing, then it doesn't matter.
¿Los equipos de timecode son tuyos o de la gente de cámara?
Well, usually in the UK, the sound mixer owns the timecode equipment. So, yeah, it depends. Normally, I try and get the camera department to change the batteries, and we just jam it.
Okay.
But yeah.
¿Quién los conecta?
I will set it up and connect it and jam it so that I know it's right, because they don't care about that.
Okay.
And yeah, we take responsibility for the timecode stuff.
No.
What's happening now in with the studios in Britain is that traditionally the sound people have the timecode equipment and the timecode slates, and they rent them to the production. And now if the production's going to be 5 months long, the studios now say, wait a minute, we're going to buy that. And so we don't have to pay rental. So
Okay. ¿Los walkie-talkies son tuyos? You
No.
own?
No.
Ok. ¿Has tenido problemas inducidos por el equipo de video assist? Zumbidos, electricidad inducida, etcétera.
I try and choose equipment which everything runs on batteries. I try and only use equipment which is low power consumption.
Ujú.
You know, I don't have a computer on set. I don't have anything that relies on mains power. So I can run all day on batteries. But when we connect to video sometimes to give them audio, we sometimes get a buzz from that. So I try to be as independent as possible so there's no earth loops. But yes, sometimes I have a problem and maybe have to go wireless or put in a earth lift or something.
En condiciones de lluvia, ¿qué haces con los micrófonos? Es decir, la acción toma lugar debajo de la lluvia. Los actores hablan debajo de la lluvia. Te escucho.
Well, we have with the Sinella piano, you have also the Kelly rain cover, which is like a kind of sponge thing,
Sí.
which breaks the noise of the rain, but it doesn't absorb it. So that's one solution. Although when you have the boom over the frame and the rain is running into the shot, so what do you do then? You have to take it off and shake it and put it back, didn't we?
Shake it out. But we also had that. We made up the what do you call it? The horsehair.
Yeah.
I remember we made a frame and put it on the boom, so the horsehair was there and the boom was underneath it.
Yes. We had a ridiculous scene in a stage where they made it rain in the stage, but more rain than you could have anywhere on the planet Earth. And So we had the booms with. Also, there's the thing called a Rain Man, made by Remote Audio, which is a kind of like stuff that you have inside cushions, all that. But then we made had a frame, a lighting frame with some horsehair, which is the stuff they put in old sofas, and have that two boom operators, one holding this above the boom of the other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And with the lavalier mics, so sometimes you put them upside down so the water comes off.
Ujú. Ok. Los actores se pisan. ¿Cuál es tu actitud? ¿Advertís al director de potenciales problemas? ¿O microfoneás y mezclás tan bien como podés a ambas voces?
We always cover both voices. And if it's a two-shot, then we allow them to overlap. But if it's a single, then we try and convince the director that they shouldn't overlap.
¿El actor que está en off es microfoneado con el mismo rigor, cercanía y tipo de micrófono que el que está en campo?
Sí, mismo.
Ok.
Except when the actor is off, is right beside the camera, and the camera is noisy.
Noisy.
Then you have to be closer with.
¿Grabás room tones?
Sí, cuando. Yes, when I can. When it's
Cuando puedo.
Ok. En un largometraje normal, en este en el cual estás aquí en Argentina, ¿grabaste algún room tone ya?
I don't know if we have we? Not really.
No, but you did a sweep
No.
like in the church, didn't you?
We did a suite, yeah. No, because we haven't had time.
Ok.
Yeah.
Ok.
Pero
¿Usás?
pará, contaron de que hicieron impulsos. Muy
muy bien.
De Altiver.
Yes, but we've also been doing a bit of we were filming in a theatre with quite a lively acoustic and sound of traffic and people outside, so we ran a second recorder with a surround mic
Ok.
to capture.
Pero mencionaste el término IR. ¿Cómo los grabaste? ¿Con qué generaste el impulso?
So recorded some impulse responses because we were filming in churches, which are quite a specific acoustic. So we record a frequency sweep. So you set up a speaker in the space and a couple of, usually use omnidirectional microphones, and the frequency sweep goes through all the frequencies, so it goes boop, and you record, clean the sweep, and you record the microphones so that the computer can calculate how the different frequencies reflect off the different surfaces in the space, so that if you then record ADR in post-production, you can apply the same acoustic to that.
¿Usás grabadorcitos chiquitos como los Sony PCM D50 o los Zooms para grabar ambientes subrepticios, por ejemplo?
I like the idea, but I haven't done much of that.
Okay. ¿Cuál es tu opinión sobre Ambisonic?
I've used them a few times. We used them on the last film we did. It's great for capturing ambience. And this is the first time I'm trying this DPA surround mic, which also seems very good, although it takes 6 tracks, whereas the Ambisonic takes 4, so you can use a zoom for that, like a H6 or something. I think that it's great to be able to give to the editors.
¿Eventualmente usás cardioides para grabar diálogos o siempre hipercardioides?
I suppose realistically it's mostly hypercardioid because of noise issues, but cardioid is a nice luxury when you can use it.
Ok. ¿Encontraste la ciudad de Buenos Aires más ruidosa que Londres?
Es más reverberante. Las
locaciones.
Yes, very hard.
Ok. ¿Acostumbrás a intervenir las locaciones tanto en temas de aislamiento como acondicionamiento acústico?
Not very often, but I have had places double glazed before for shooting. Yeah.
Los actores hablan bajito en un lugar muy ruidoso.
Yeah, I'll try and convince the director that there's a rationale why they should be speaking a bit louder. Yes.
Okay.
If they don't go with that, then you just have to inform them that they're going to have to dub it later.
I'm going to say that we were on a job and there was an actor there, an actor here, and this actor missed the line because he didn't hear what this actor said on Macbeth.
Yes. And it's great when you have that on camera, when the actor's like this and he goes, "What? Did you speak?" Yeah. Because it's evidence that how are we supposed to record it if you can't even hear it?
Uh-huh. ¿Usás todo el tiempo micrófonos inalámbricos en los actores, además de los boom, o solo cuando son necesarios?
All the time, yeah.
Ok, muy bien. ¿Trabajás siempre con dos o con un microfonista?
Con dos, when we need to.
Ok.
Yeah. So, but you got 2 first assistants or 2 first assistants and 1 second assistant?
Well, on this film there are 3 of us.
Yeah.
But in the last few years we've been working with a 4-man team.
Okay. So the utility will be the 4th man.
Yeah.
And you have yourself as a sound mixer, 2 first assistant and a second.
Yeah, 2 boom operators and a
And a second. See.
But usually often the second boom operator does a lot of the radio miking.
¿Qué monitoreás con preferencia? ¿La mezcla para la edición o los canales ISO?
Normally I listen to the mix, but I will solo things while I'm working.
When you mixing, do you decide the point of view of the camera? I mean, if you have a wide shot, you include like all the wires and you push in all the wires, but you have a single and you have the second booming on the guy's off. Do you push that boom on the mix as it's on, or you leave it like it's off, but you still got the ISO?
I usually try and make the mix work for the shot, so the person who's off will be a little bit lower and they'll sound natural to the shot.
But if you have a multi-camera, I mean, if you have this point of view and that point of view, how do you choose which one you mix?
Yes, it's difficult. Yesterday we were doing 2 cameras and I was wishing I would give them 2 mixes, one for each camera. And sometimes I do that, but it usually you get mistakes and problems down the line because most editors ask me for a mono mix on 1 track. So then if you give them 2, the lab or somebody usually messes it up. So I end up with just doing a compromise.
¿Cuál es la innovación técnica de los últimos 3 o 4 años que te parece destacable y por qué?
I think having more tracks in a small package.
Okay.
Combining a mixer on a recorder. Better wireless mics. And probably post-production tools for noise reduction like isotope, where they can rescue things that they couldn't do before.
Okay. ¿Cuál es tu fuente de información? ¿Revistas como Mix, foros? ¿Cuáles?
Yeah, I think JW Sound is very useful on the internet. I suppose there's no particular magazine or site that I use, but yeah.
Ok, bueno, de esta manera damos por cerrado esta etapa y pasamos a la siguiente, que es la proyección de unos fotos que ha aportado el propio Stuart.